All right, welcome into hour two. Anything else you guys want to hit on this mock draft, or do you want to move on and kind of look at some of the other topics we got in terms of the next position we're going to dive into is guard and tackle, and kind of explain where the depth is there, both free agency and in the draft. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah. I like it.
All right, let's do it. Let me pop this over here. Let's start with the free agent market, and we'll kind of key in on the free agents according to PFF. Let's see if they've got any guards that are worthy of potentially signing as a free agent. We'll put this up here. Make sure y'all can see that okay. I'm sure you can, right? Let me adjust the filter. Let's go guards and just take a quick look, guys. There's a lot more guards obviously available than centers, and there's some dogs in here, it seems like. So
here's some guards.
Now the question is, do you want to spend big money on guards, right? That's right. The big question. If Elton kicks to center, right, let's just play that for a minute. If Elton kicks to center, then you're looking at Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan potentially being your starting guards as it sits right now. I'm okay with that. You're looking for depth. Are you going to sign a guy to big dollars on the free agent market as a guard for him to potentially get beat out by one of the guys you want to win that job? Right now, You could plug and play him at right guard and tell Sean Ryan to play back up. I feel like Sean Ryan played pretty decent this year. That's just me. So anyway, Trey Smith at the top of the list, PFF grade last year, 78.8. Guys, he's only 25 years old. He's still obviously playing here with the Chiefs as they're looking to go for another Super Bowl run. His projected contract, 4 years, $20 million per. A lot of money for a guard, right? You've got Will Fries, or Freeze, however you say his name, 26 years old, guard out of Indianapolis, 4 years, $14.3 million. Look at his PFF grade this year, albeit just 268 snaps, 86.9 before he got hurt, obviously. The year before, 61.2, 58.4. That would suggest this one doesn't belong, right? The 86.9 does not belong. Next, you got Tevin Jenkins out of Chicago, 26 years old. He's looking for 3 years, $13 million, according to the projection. His PFF grade is pretty solid. 2022, moving forward, 80.7, 72.6, 75.4. Next, you've got Kevin Zeitler. He's 112 years old. He 1 year, $6.2 million. Played for Detroit. Played good, though, boys. 86.8 with 1,000 snaps. If you just want a 1 year fill-the-gap top guy, you can go that route. And if you can get him for $6 million and he plays at that level, that's a steal for a 1 year rental, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but James Daniels, PFF grade, only 209 snaps, but a 92.9. He's 27 years old, played for Pittsburgh this year. Mekhi Becton from Philly, 25 years old. They're projecting 3 years, $9 million. His PFF grade was a 72.6. Those are your guards in free agency at the top of the list, according to PFF. Anybody catch your attention there, boys? I can scroll up, down, sideways. You just let me know what you need. What do y'all think about it?
Can you go to Grandpa in Detroit here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's take a look at Grandpa here, because it's interesting that you brought that up, because, you know, we're talking about Big E possibly moving to center. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking, like you said, Clay, like for a relatively inexpensive yet hyper reliable guy to plug in for a 1 year patch while you develop, you know, some of your younger players, I think this would be worth considering. I mean, you're looking at 1 year, $6 million. I mean, it might be a Band-Aid, right? I mean, I think at the very least he'd come in and not be a liability, you know, like we saw what happened when Elton went out of that Philly game and the whole line just collapsed. I don't think a guy like Paw Zeitler here is gonna be a liability out there. So the age in this position I don't think it's as big of a deal as we'd like it to be. And, you know, we're already the youngest team. There's nothing wrong with adding a little bit of veteran leadership, even if it is for a year or two, you know.
We keep talking about that. We're the youngest team, and people are so tired of using that excuse. Well, you got to change it. Yep. Listen, the youngest team in the NFL, to the best of my knowledge, has never won a Super Bowl. So we're expecting to beat crazy, ridiculous odds to win a ring if we continue to be the youngest team in the league. So at some point, you got to add some kind of veteran leadership to the – I'm not saying, you know, take it completely the opposite direction, have the oldest roster in the league. I'm just saying you got to get some veteran leadership in there. And, Tim, you hit the nail on the head. If you relive that Philly game and it's Zeitler and it's Elton Jenkins are your starting guards, and one of those two guys go down, then Sean Ryan steps in, and that debacle probably doesn't happen, right? Yeah. So, and not to mention what we were talking about, potentially drafting people too. So true. CJM, Tim, you must be younger than 34 for calling that man grandpa.
So, better tell him, Clay. I wish, right?
Yeah, shoot, me too. Boy, my back feels like it's 106. Emilio, what do you think about these guards here, man? We can go up, down. Anybody you want to see here?
I honestly think my only pull would be on Tevin Jenkins if we're really going to spend that kind of money. Just because the other one would be Mekhi Becton, but he was, drafted by the Jets, went through a real rough patch, and they brought him in from tackle to guard at Philly. Did all right, but he's you get 1 year with a really good offensive line coach. I'm not saying ours isn't, but is he going to kind of keep that progress going up? I'm not sure. That's probably why if we were to pull the trigger, I would say Tevin Jenkins, but I still don't like that cost. Unless we knew that he's going to be able to be one of those, he's still going to have to play every position if we need him to. If we bring him in as a guard, I still probably want you to be able to play center, and tackle in a pinch type stuff.
Yeah. So you don't want to cash out for a guy like Trey Smith?
No.
It's a lot of money, man.
That's a hard pass.
Yeah. And again, we've already kind of got that, right, Tim? It's like when you model our roster out, we already got a high-price guard in Elgton Jenkins, so you're not looking to really break the bank. You know what I'm saying? To me, at this point with the offensive line, what you're looking for is you're looking to get healthy, one, right, and add a little bit of depth. That's why I feel like most of these guys are a long shot. Now, if you can get a deal on one, that's different, right? And when you look at Will Fries here, or Fries, however you say his name, 26 years old, what's the norm there, right? The norm is probably low upper 50s, low 60s PFF grade. Now, if this right here is a sign of things to come with that 86.9, then man, at $14 million per, you got an absolute stud, one of the best in the game. But I just don't expect him to kind of live up to that. So that's why for me, if you want to break the bank and go get Trey Smith, you can do that. But I just don't think it's the right move, to be honest with you. So.
Well, and the way Goody was talking, it was like, hey, we need to also make sure it's not just this next year we're patching up holes for. We got to plan out second, third year ahead. He said we got a lot of rookies we got a lot of skilled rookies or a lot of skilled guys that are still on rookie contracts. We still need to plan for that money that's going to be peeling out of here soon. So that's where we always can't. He said obviously I want to be aggressive in the offseason and free agency. You always want to do that, but it can't always go on a spending spree. And maybe we do want to, save and kind of roll into that less cash over cap, save a little bit in the bank kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. WHS Pioneer 89, Hamburger 79 says, you guys ever watched To Catch a Predator back in the day?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah. Are those is the host still in jail, or is he out now?
I don't know.
Anyway, they had a guy.
I don't know. Maybe this guy knows.
Yeah.
For him. Listen, if we're being honest, that looks like the type of people you'd see on that show, but we'll keep it moving here. Okay. That's a little creepy. So Pioneer 89 says, isn't Zach Tom due a contract extension this offseason? He's going into the last year of his deal. And typically the way Goody likes to operate when he signs these guys is you want to get it done before camp starts, but sometimes it'll carry into camp, and by the break of camp, you got the new contract. So, yes, I don't know how you guys feel, but I personally expect Zach Tom to have a contract done before camp this year and kind of, okay, you've got him locked up for the future. Now, if Zach Tom is really trying to pay hardball and try to get highest paid tackle in the game money, Goody can always hit him with the franchise tag in the offseason. We know we like to steer clear of that, but that's an option too. I say pay that man his monies. So what do you guys think about that? You think he gets that deal done? Am I right too, Emilio? This is the last year of his contract, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he gets that. I think that, like Tim's always said, back that Bearings truck up and just whatever stores he stopped at to collect money, just bring that over to Zach Tom. We'll figure out the difference, man. Yep. He's going to get it. And I know obviously we want that left tackle solidified solid. Maybe it's Jordan Morgan in the future. We don't know that, but if you have that kind of talent, either way he's produced at a tackle, you have to pay him as a tackle, even if we think that he could be the best center, and maybe he still does get paid and does come inside. I mean, you really never know, but you have to pay that man. He's going to protect, if we're going to build a wall, we got to be serious about it. Let's protect Jordan Love.
That's right.
I mean, it's true. Like we talked about, a couple of years ago, we talked about, could Zach Tom go to center? Would he go to center? And it's like, well, we know he can play there, but I think he wants that top tackle money. He wants to be paid like a tackle, and he wants to play tackle. And I think the Packers are content to do that. So I think I'm with you, Clay. I think a deal gets done before camp.
And I was trying to get a look here too. If we were to look at contracts and we go specifically to guard, if I can figure out how to do this, man, I constantly forget how to break
While
it
you're
down.
pulling that up, Clay, let me just show you here. Drew D said Pizza Hut has a deal for a large one-topping stuffed crust and 16 boneless wings for $20. Such a good deal.
Yeah. Can't afford not to get that. You kidding me? That's Mandy's favorite line. We can't afford not to get it. Yeah,
Y'all are the kings of free promotion, I swear.
And listen, buddy, you about said something inappropriate. You gotta let me think my way through this one. Sometimes you gotta free promote, Tim. Oh boy.
And then there were a couple. REIM Miner was saying something about his Pizza Hut just had a turn for the worst. It got turned into a different sort of shop. But yeah, no, that's good. Got a little hat on top of it. It's a good look. Ours is still greatly in business in town. But
got it. All right. So what I was trying to do is get an idea of, okay, what are the most expensive contracts, right, in the league from an offensive lineman standpoint? Let me go ahead and take this down. We're pretty much done with it. Maybe I can get this on the screen just to show you guys. I want you to experience the shock value as well here. Okay. I don't want to be the only one taking my medicine here tonight. Here are your top paid offensive linemen across the league. Now, keep in mind, I think this is average annual value, if I remember correctly. Or no, this is cap hit, right? Is this cap hit? Of course, it doesn't say. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here we go. Listing the top salaries, cap hits, cash earnings, etc. Let's see if it does not differentiate. Yeah, cap hit. We're in cap hit. So these are the cap hits of the top paid offensive linemen in the league this past year, or actually in 2025, the upcoming year. $31.3 million per, well, at least the cap hit this year for Tristan Wirfs. Now that'll probably get restructured, I'm sure.
Right.
Taylor Moton, right tackle for Carolina, $31.3 million. Laramie Tunzel, $28.5 million. He's a left tackle in Houston. Jawan Taylor, right tackle in Kansas City, $27.3 million. Joe Tooney, guard in Kansas City, $26.9 million. Brian O'Neill, right tackle in Minnesota, $26 million. Mike McGlinchey, $23.7 million in Denver at right tackle. Taylor Decker in Detroit, left tackle, $23.3 million. So if we just kind of go top 10 here, you're looking at $22.7 million to $31.3 million cap hit. All right. Now, again, some of these might be the last year of their contract. If we were to go average annual, I think we could do that. Let's see. Contract average is probably what we're looking for. You're looking at, on an average, any given year, somewhere around $28.1 million cap hit at the number 1 spot, and down around the 10 spot is 20.5. It's a lot of money, boys. A lot of money. So if Goody comes in south of $20 million per on average, he's worked a miracle here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. Those are kind of crazy numbers. And now that we're talking about it, and then you want to bring in a free agent, and we're still going to pay him. What's 13 per for Jenkins or something like that. Then you got guys like, dude, you're going to bring in this guy that hasn't proved anything and pay him that kind of money. I've been here, protecting Jordan Love for how long now, and you're going to have to back it up for me too. So I think that's something that we really do have to keep in mind. If we have homegrown talent that's ready to go, let's pay them, get that squared away before we try to chase something, just because we like numbers.
Yeah. And when you look at that number, you pretty much throw out the option of signing one of those top name guards, right? It just does not make sense.
And look at the fact that Kansas City has 2 of them over $25 million. That's a lot of money in your offensive line. Where's Elton Jenkins at? Where's Zach Tom going to be at? How are we going to pay another guy? I feel like maybe you could fit another one in there, but not much more than that. I think you can only pay 3 linemen at that kind of money at a time.
Yeah. Greg Rice says, are we really paying Tom $20 million per? That's the market.
I'm thinking he might be pushing 25.
Might be north of that. Yeah.
I would say he's probably going to get like 25 per.
To me, like I said, if you fall in south of 20, Goody worked a miracle. I'm with you guys. Somewhere between 20 and 30 million on average. That doesn't mean his cap hit the first year is going to be like that. Precedent wise, right? Going off of past contract negotiations and how that first year has fell into place, it's typically significantly lower than the second year cap hit. So they'll redo if they give him the extension that first year. Don't be surprised if he come in cap hit wise around 10 to 13 million. But again, what you're probably going to see in year 2 and 3 is that number blimp up, especially in year 3. Because usually what they'll do is if they re-sign someone to a 3 to a 4 year deal, as you approach year 3, now you start to restructure that contract because the majority of the guaranteed money has already been paid, and now you can sweeten the pot for the player and lower the cap number. That's what we call cash over cap. You're trading cash money and check form signing bonus to free up cap space so you can spread that out a little bit thinner and reduce the overall number because these players, they want guaranteed money, right? That's the secret to playing the cash over cap game for sure. So, all right. Joe says these cap space and market value talk ain't helping us get Crosby, Max Crosby. See, that's the thing, Joe, that no one's talking about. Everybody's excited about, go trade for Max Crosby. Got to pay that dude if you get him, right? And you're already paying Gary, who was your best pass rusher this year. Like, if you go get him, you can do that. But guess what? You're strapped. You're strapped. Mm-hmm. You're going to be strapped for a year or two. Now, you could tack on voidable years and do what we did 2 or 3 years ago. That's why, to me, the focus needs to be on 3-tech. And this year, it just so happens it lines up perfectly with our cap because we need to get that 3-tech from the draft. We've really got to hit on that 3-tech. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take a couple swings on a 3-tech, me personally. So the other thing I thought about too is, can you kick somebody inside that's played edge and then that'll kind of justify going and get a Max Crosby? I personally think Rashawn Gary could play inside. That's me in a 4-3 defense.
Not a 3-tech, right?
What's that?
Not a 3-tech though.
He's more built for 3 than 1, right? But I just don't see it happening. I don't see any chance.
You would have to have a Crosby then if you do that, right? You'd have to bring someone like that in, yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Is like you can justify playing a 3-tech. So if you've got somebody at edge that you could beef up and put it 3-tech, that makes more sense to bring in someone like Crosby. Now you got your 3-tech. But who's to say Gary would be good at 3-tech, right? So that's why I feel like the most reasonable explanation, or at least game plan, for modeling out the roster this offseason has got to be go to the draft because you got multiple options there. You got Tyleik Williams at Ohio State that might fall in their lap. You got Walter Nolan, my draft crush. You've got Alfred Collins out of Texas. He's sitting in the 65 spot. He had an 87.2 PFF.
You got Deion Walker out of Kentucky.
Tim's all over Deion Walker. I love it too. I don't have to be the fanboy for the Kentucky Wildcats. Tim taking care of it for me. And then you got Derek Harmon out of Oregon as well. So you got multiple options there to go, hey, let's see if one of these guys pop as a 3-tech. And again, Devontae Wyatt, you heard what Goody said. Now, he could have been blowing smoke up our rear end, but if he really likes Devontae Wyatt that much and they end up extending him, whether we like it or not, he's the 3-tech of the future.
Exactly. So I was just poking around on the contracts. If I pulled up all the tackles on the NFL contracts on Spot Track, I've just pulled up all tackles, and our leading tackle in the value chart of salary, he's 4 years, 4.1 million, 19 million. That is Travis Glover. He ranks 86th. He is getting paid more money right now than Zach Tom.
Is he really?
Zach Tom is ranked 90th at a value of 4.1 or 4.164. And yes, average salary is about $6,000 less than than Travis Glover. The dude is gonna get paid. We don't have anybody in. I mean, there's teams with 3, 4, 5 guys above 86. You know what I mean? We're not paying for Rasheed Walker's not even on the list. You know what I mean? So we're not paying anybody for our offensive line. We need to shore it up. If we have someone in there, they got to get paid.
Yeah, and here's the thing with that. There's going to be pushback from fans going, is he really worth it? Is he really worth it? Was he worth it on that very tiny contract he's played on? Yeah. The dude never held out one time. The dude never complained about his contract.
He should be the first one to get it done. That's why I think, get it done.
Let me give you the average percentage of cap at signing. Travis Glover, 0.41%. Zach Tom, 0.5%. Rasheed Walker, 0.45%. Andre Dillard 0.4%. I mean, like hundreds of thousands. That's it. I mean, they are cheap. They are going to get paid.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Again, how bad do you want a dominant tackle? And that's what Zach Tom has been, right? PFF, I think, had him as their all-pro right tackle, if I remember correctly. So I think it's an important position. You got to pay it. That's just me. The versatility there too, right? Let's say that Rasheed Walker hits a wall, and for some reason you need to kick Zach Tom over to left tackle and protect the blind side at some point. Zach Tom can do it like that. Zach Tom can play center. Zach Tom can play guard. To me, that value is important in case the board falls differently too. Then you've got that guy locked up for the future. Now we're kind of fast forwarding to training camp, obviously, and him getting a new contract extension. But if you're in a position where, oh man, we just drafted a dude. Let me give you an example. One of the mock draft dudes I had, right? Who was it? Chase Lunt. Let's say you draft Chase Lunt with the 123rd pick, and somehow, some way, he turns out to be Zach Tom's clone. He played right tackle at Connecticut, if I remember correctly. If you look up and it's like, this dude's NFL pro ready, put him in there. Well, guess what? You can kick Zach Tom somewhere else, and he's good to go. As they described it, I think they said he was a Pro Bowl tackle, an all-pro guard, and a Hall of Fame center is the way the Packers seen Zach Tom.
He can block. That's the truth.
That is correct.
22 years old, Zach Tom. Rasheed Walker, 21 at signing, and Travis Glover, 23 at signing. I mean, by the time, everybody's coming up together. Everybody's got that sort of, connection. He's going to get paid. Rasheed might get paid. You never know.
Right. Aaron Rodgers, our Aaron Rodgers, not the Aaron Rodgers, with the super chat said, how's it going? Started my semester with this week and my journalism classes. I want to say thank you for the terrible content and a great season. LMAO.
Appreciate that.
Glad we could waste your time, sir. We appreciate you being a part.
What we're here for.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, man. And good luck with school.
Yeah. Congrats on school, man. That's awesome.
So this shouldn't take long. We've already hit on the guards and free agency. Let's look at the draft here. Here we go. Brambo, been a member for 2 months. I want a Hall of Fame center. Amen, Brambo. Amen. Now, if you find one falling off a tree somewhere, let me know. Okay, we'll let Goody know where to find him too. But Chris C with the super chat. Thank you, Chris. He says we have an interview with the Jets defensive line coach. That is correct, as Mike Hebring mentioned earlier in the show. Here in the chat. They are interviewing the defensive line coach for the New York Jets. Now, it doesn't mean that someone like Ogabasi in-house could get promoted, but I think that's Robert Saleh inspired myself. So kind of excited about it, to be honest with you, if indeed they decide to go outside of the building for defensive line coach. And listen, with the way the defensive line played this year, taking a step back, I think it's probably the right move, to be honest with you. Get a fresh face in here. So appreciate you, Chris. You the man. All right, here are the guards in the draft coming up. And I want to point this out because, guys, this is not very deep on the front side, right? In the top 100, you've got Tyler Booker out of Alabama. Guard, he's 6'5". He's a 66th ranked prospect, according to PFF. His PFF grade in 2024 was a 66.5 the year before, a 72.5 the year before, a 67.1, so not great, right? Then you got Georgia Bulldog Tate Ratledge, 6'6", guard, 320 pounds. PFF grade 74.4 the year before, 76.2 the year before that, 69.1. So PFF suggests even though he's ranked lower, his grades were better than Tyler Booker. But that's the only two in the top 100. And that's why I was saying, probably going to have to go the tackle approach to get the better offensive lineman. And we know Goody loves converting those guys to guard, so at least historically speaking. So am I missing anything there as far as the guard class? Again, it looks pretty thin, right? On the front side, I should say.
On the front side, yeah.
Doesn't mean there's not depth on the back side.
Right, yeah. And the only – looking at Connor Colby, he's 2024, 743 at right guard, 714 at right guard in 23. 22, he actually played left guard for 348 and right tackle for 333. So that's, that could be one, Hawkeye. The only other guy kind of numbers wise would be Luke, the guy right there, Luke Canandra. But he strictly played right guard, 803, 888, and 231. So that's, that's where we always got to fall back to. Can you play multiple positions? Do we see you playing multiple positions? And would we rather bring a tackle that has, longer arms in to play guard and go from there? I think that's kind of where they lean. But, unless they got to, let's see some tape and stuff like that and see where these guys actually are, see if they can get them off the spot. Maybe we can go after them.
And late here, guys, Clay Webb, I know it's Jacksonville State, but 82, 87, 80, right?
Uh-oh.
He dominated at that level. Now he's a redshirt senior, and they refuse to disclose his age here, so that's not a good sign, Bub. I'm sure that all the draft nicks will refuse to draft.
And he strictly plays left guard, 915, 848, and 549.
We got 2 picks in the 7th round, boys. You never know.
Hey, could take a swing.
Maybe we'll get another one. Maybe we'll trade around a little.
Exactly. All right, guard draft. Let me just make a note here real quick. All right. We had a super chat I wanted to hit. Let me get to it real quick. Brent in Indiana, talking Tom, what is contract for right tackle versus guard and center? Here's the problem. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but what if we kick him to guard and we save money? That ain't how that works. He's already played tackle. He's proven he's a tackle. He wants to get paid like a tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to meet in the middle a little bit, but I highly doubt it. Let me pull that screen back up we have with the salary cap, and let's just compare the difference between tackle and guard real quick as we go to the screen here. So we mentioned, and again, this right here is just contract average annual value. Okay, you take the whole contract, divide it by the number of years, and it kind of averages out. It's not necessarily the cap hit this year or the cap hit next year, right? Tristan Wirfs at the top of the list at 28.1. Let's see where the first guard falls in. Landon Dickerson at 21 million. All right. Then you got Chris Lindstrom out of Atlanta at 20.5. And then the next one will be Quentin Nelson at 20 million. So the top of the guard market is pretty much 20 to 21 million, right, Emilio?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Yep. Very, very interesting there, man.
And then was there a center or no?
Let's see if we can find a center. First center, average annual. Creed Humphrey, 18 million.
Damn it.
Why do you got to say it, Emilio? Why do you got to ask for the center knowing it's going to be Creed Humphrey?
Yeah, that one's on me. But what I think is he's going to be pushing 25 after looking at those numbers. I mean, the dude is skilled at every position. There's no way we can just say he's a center and pay him 18 million and call it a day. I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Again, if it comes in average annual value under 20 million, I'm gonna send Goody a dozen of Chris.
Thank you card. Yeah, for sure.
That's exactly what's happening.
Him and Russ Ball, they can both get a dozen.
Exactly.
They can get a dozen right now anyway for all the work they've done.
That's right. Brent in Indiana, thank you for the super chat, but hopefully that answered your question there, man. It's quite the difference between guard and tackle. For sure. Let's go through and see if we missed anything that's relevant here in the chat. I know y'all had some marked, but we're way backed up, ain't we? That's my bad. Let's see here.
We were kind of just talking about this. We can't afford to move Tom to center because he'll still demand high, right tackle money, and you can't afford to pay that to your center. I think that's accurate.
Yeah. I'm trying to, again, man, I love trying to figure these things out just as an exercise. And I love looking back the following year and like middle of next year and go, man, remember when we were talking about this in the offseason?
Mm-hmm.
How did it really shake out?
Yeah.
I'm eager to see. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying it's not my choice, but I wouldn't be surprised if we look up training camp and Josh Myers is your center and they worked out a deal. That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Keep this in mind. Ben Holden Jenkins could be a Hall of Fame center.
See, you're talking about Elton Jenkins, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Elton Jenkins is my choice. If Myers is gone, right, and you're just, okay, we're going to build through the draft, I would want to see Elton kick the center, Jordan Morgan play left guard, Sean Ryan at right guard, and flood that room with 2 or 3 rookies to build depth. That's kind of the way I see it. That's why I don't see us coming out of this draft with no less than two offensive linemen. I really don't.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to be a center.
Right.
To your point. And free agency, same thing we discussed. So,
yeah,
hopefully we're right. Like it's been said, right? The center of the future is on the team. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm alone. I want Big E to stay at left guard, but
right.
If he moves to center and that's what works, then I'll
get
with
matters, right?
Yeah, it's all that matters. Yep.
Let's not forget we still have Monk in there. I mean, there are a couple other guys in there that still have some some chances at it. And Monk wasn't the one that got pulled in when Jenkins went out. Monk wasn't the one called in. You know what I mean?
I think a pleasant surprise would be Jordan Morgan showing up to camp and showing us that he can play left guard. And now all of a sudden we're cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I'm holding out for. To me, that seems like the safest scenario. Anyway.
You have to roll in. You're not going to want to you don't want to, keep re-signing Telford and stuff like that and Taylor. You want to refresh that with some young guys and just say, all right, let's get to it. Unless you're unless you're positively certain that you want to bring in one center, one guard from free agency, that's a known commodity. But the way he was kind of talking about it, the way he said he knew, that you kind of knew where X and Jacobs were and, who they kind of were. They both came from Alabama, both had that kind of mentality, both produced at a high level in the NFL. I think that's how he would be looking at if we're going to bring in somebody to make a statement in free agency, who's young, that has really produced good numbers, maybe played at a high school. That would be the chase.
Yep.
I like McClarley here in the chat. Walker, Morgan, Jenkins, Ryan, Tom.
Yep.
I'll take that.
Yep. And then if you look up and we're going to hit tackles in the morning for Good Morning Lambeau. We're going to walk through the tackle market as well as the tackle draft. Guys, there's a ton of tackles in this draft. I've got 4 earmarked that I like, all the way from the number 21 prospect down to number 81 there with Charles Grant out of William and Mary. So, again, you may hit on a tackle, him show up to camp and just turn heads, them try him. You guys remember how camp goes, right? Like they'll shuffle those guys through every position and try to get multiple looks and see who fits where. You may look up, hit on a tackle, maybe even a little later in the draft and go, damn, we can't keep this dude off the field. He's going to play guard, right? Yep. And Sean Ryan, if I remember correctly, is going into the final year of his contract. I don't expect them to extend him for anything more than a really, really good deal, right? It's not like they're going to break the bank to keep Sean Ryan.
Right.
So one of those tackles could step right into that role next year, and you're off and running. If they don't beat Sean Ryan out, they beat Sean Ryan out, you're not looking at it like this is a progress stopper. You found your right guard of the future. If indeed Jordan Morgan slides into left guard, you got Elton Jenkins at center. There's just a number of different ways that this could play out for sure. The other thing I want to point out, again, some of you guys are going, but can't we draft a center? According to PFF, there are 0 centers in the top 100. That doesn't mean one of the later ones wouldn't be a hit. But as it sits right now, you're not liking the top end depth, I should say, right? That top of the draft where, hey, that dude can be the next Creed Humphrey or the next whoever, right? So just doesn't seem like that right
Doesn't seem like someone you're going to want to bring in and throw right into the fire. If you've got a couple of experienced guys that have already played it, know the offense, know the call, you're going to want somebody at center that's ready to roll with Jordan, I think.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Anything else, boys? I think we've hit everything that I had wrote down here. We got all the news in, all the coaching shakeups, all that good stuff. We hit a little bit on Goody's presser. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get out of here?
I think we got it. We caught up in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're not. No, we're not in the building.
What's up, Boz? Appreciate you, buddy. Super chat. Thank you so much, man. He said, hope to see you and the crew in Green Bay in April. Yes, sir. We are working on all the details right now. Let me give y'all kind of a best case scenario of what we think would be a good plan. If everything goes as planned and we can get us a spot near Lambeau, we'll throw up a tent, right? We might even, a couple folding tables, have some pizza delivered in, something like that. Maybe do a little live podcast with everybody there, but it'll definitely be a meet and greet, hanging out, just talking ball, getting to know each other. I was thinking, and me and Tim had talked about this, like Emilio, we're going to be in town pretty much all week, right? When are you flying into town, Emilio?
I haven't purchased yet. So, but same days. I think Wednesday, Sunday would probably be the run.
I get into town Wednesday, but we're thinking the best meet and greet time, if it's good with everybody else. We said, we say Friday, right? Friday from 2 to 5, Tim, in the afternoon. Is that right? So all the draft stuff's going to be going on, all the concerts and all the festivities and all that. Maybe from like 2 to 5, we meet up. If we can't secure a spot, then we'll say, hey, meet over here in the southwest corner of Lambeau or wherever. I told Tim I'm going to have a couple extra footballs shipped to him. Get a couple Dukes out there. We'll have a pigskin to throw around, order some pizza, just hang out and chill. So that's kind of the plan we got. Now, what we'll do when the draft kicks off about an hour before, I'm going to go back to the house that we rented in Green Bay, and we're going to be set up to do a live draft show for everybody who's staying at home. We definitely don't want to neglect them and those knuckleheads are out partying, having a good time, and we're stuck here with no coverage. So we'll try to set that up at the house. So hopefully that answers your question, Boz. I'm telling you, man, you and Bates and some of the other loyal listeners, anyone is welcome. I think it's going to be awesome. even if it's for an hour or two, just to hang out and talk ball and see what everybody's take is on the current strategy going into that draft. It's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks
to Boz for the $20 football donation, right? You can put that in the fund for the footballs.
Absolutely. Again, thank you, Boz. Appreciate you, man. All right, that's going to do it, guys. We're going to get out of here. We will see you in the morning for Good Morning Lambeau. Like I said, we'll dive into the free agent tackles, and we'll also hit into the rookie class of tackles coming into the draft this April when we are up there in town for the draft.
Don't you, while I'm gone, don't you put any slander on our boy Travis Glover, okay?
I will not.
Okay, all right. That's all I ask.
Travis Glover is a
you know what I've really messed up on? We should have taken a picture with whoever was wearing the Travis Glover shirt.
That was wild.
Like first thing you saw him. We came down the staircase, looked to the left, dude's wearing a Travis Glover jersey. I should have just walked right up to him and told him I need a picture with that immediately.
What's funny too is I'm kind of a jersey head, right? I spotted it immediately. It was a Beckett style jersey from Pristine Auction. And listen, third, fourth stringers, no offense, Emilio, those guys' autographs don't cost very much, right? So he probably got that jersey for $23. My man said, "There's my game one. Let's go."
My man wasn't even a third stringer. My man was what, six rounds. So.
But imagine if you hit on one of those, right?
Oh,
get it early.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He becomes that dude. Crushing
That's something you tell the grandchildren about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
yes, sir.
So, all right, that's it, guys. We're out. Dan Mullen, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you more than you know. Aaron Rodgers, our Aaron Rodgers, not the Aaron Rodgers. Thank you for the super chat. Brambo09, been a member for 2 months. Appreciate you. Chris C with the super chat. Brenton, Indiana with the super chat. And Boz throwing that 20 burger out there for us. We appreciate you, Boz. Tim, Milio, thank y'all. We'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning, Lambeau. Everybody have a great evening. Talk to you.
And we go. Bye, guys.